Hi, boys and girls. This is Mr. Pearl coming to you from my office. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what we've been working on here at Norwood. We've really been working on being kind to each other, being respectful to each other. And I know that you know the saying, the power of one. And each of us has the power of one to do the right thing, to be an upstander, and really take care of each other and our friends. But I wanted to continue doing some reading with you, and I have a very special book that kind of goes along with what we read last week. And the book that we're going to read this week is by the same author, but the name of the book is, let's see if you can see it, it says Zero by Catherine Otoshi. Okay, so it's the same author. So we're kind of looking at different books that are written by the same person. And as I'm reading the book, see if you can figure out if it has a similar meaning. Does the author write books that kind of have the same theme to them? They mean the same thing, okay? So I want you to think about the power of one, how we stand up for each other, and sometimes maybe when people don't feel very good about themselves, maybe they might feel like a zero. How are ways that we can help them? And maybe this book will tell us a little bit about it. So you ready to read with me? I'm very, very excited to read. Here we go. Zero by Catherine Otoshi. Zero was a big round number. When she looked at herself, she just saw a hole right in her center. Right? She just has that hole there. Every day she watched the numbers line up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. She wanted to count two. Right? A lot of people think of zero as not having any value. Okay? There's not much to it. Maybe that's why this zero seems so sad. But how could a number worth nothing become something? Zero felt empty inside. She watched one having fun with the others. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One was solid and strong, with bold strokes and squared corners. It's a very strong number. Zero was big and round, with no corners at all. If I were like one, then I could count two, she thought. She really wanted to be like this number. So she pushed and she pulled and she stretched and she straightened. She forced and flattened and finally became zero. She sighed. Becoming like one was too much of a stretch. Think about yourselves. Did you ever sometimes wish that you could be like somebody else? And sometimes you try to be like somebody else, but that's very, very hard. Do you know why? Because you shouldn't want to be like anybody else. You're all special yourself. Okay? So let's read a little bit more about zero and see what zero learns. 8 and 9 rolled into the scene. If you doubled yourself up, you'd be like me, said 8. Right? 2 zeros. So 0 twisted and turned and tried to be 8. Or you could be a 9 with a longer line, said 9. So 0 pinched and puckered to try to be like 9. It's a lot of work trying to be like somebody else. But 0 could only be 0. We're on our way to join the others. Come count with us, they said. 0 felt deflated. 8 and 9 were numbers with value. Of course, they'd count. How could they know how she felt? Right? Each of those numbers have a value. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. But 0 didn't feel like she had any value. 0 had a new thought. If she could impress the numbers, that would give her value. She'd leap, she'd soar, she'd sizzle, she'd shine. She'd make a grand entrance and floor them all. So 0 began to roll faster and faster and faster. She leaped, flying, soaring, rocketing, right into 1, who knocked over 2, who fell into 3 and 4, toppling 5 and 6, who crashed into 7 and 8, where they all ended up in a big pile on 9. All the numbers were bent out of shape. They didn't like it that she tried to do that. It's no use trying, sobbed 0. I'll never have value. I'll never be part of the count, she said. It's what's inside that counts most, pointed out 7. Think about yourselves. You are all very special. Inside of you is a very special person with important feelings. Okay? You're all special. It's not what it looks like on the outside that matters. It's what's inside that counts. 0 looked at herself. But what if I don't have anything inside? Every number has a value, said 7. Be open. You'll find a way. Suddenly, 0 saw herself in a new light. I'm not empty inside. I'm not empty. I'm open. It's a different way of looking at it. 0 rolled up to the numbers. I thought of a way for us to count even more, she said. Count more, asked 4. Count us in, exclaimed 7. Lead the way, said 1. Everyone counts, the number shouted. 0 jumped in. Then she leaped up high and said, here's something new we can try. If we help each other soar, we can count even more. Let's count again, starting with, let's see what 0 does to make them all worth more. 10. Where did the 0 go? Right after the 1. It turned the 1 into a 10. Let's count together and see what 0 did. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. And what's next? Do you know what's next when we count by tens after 90? Let's see if you're right. 100. And now 0 kept adding more. 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1,000,000. We do count more, they cheered. 0 and the numbers explored and had fun, bringing more value to everyone. And this time when she looked at herself, she felt whole, right in her center. She felt that she understood herself and she was important and had value because none of those numbers could be worth any more without 0, right? And you know that from your teachers in your class. And the author at the end wrote, thanks to those of you who have shared your powerful stories of one with me. Even though we have never met, you make me whole. Catherine Otoshi. Boys and girls, this book has a very important lesson. Don't try to be like anybody else. Be yourself, okay? Everybody else is taken. You're the only one that's not. And you're the best person that you can possibly be. And you're special, and you should always feel special. Boys and girls, I'm very, very proud of you. Thank you for letting me come into your classroom today. And I know that when you see me sometime today or later in the week, you'll talk about this book with me, Zero. And you'll remember, so you don't ever have to be like anybody else. Be yourself because you have value. All right, boys and girls, have a great rest of the day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.